In your car, at work, wherever you like. Get Up when it fits your schedule. Subscribe and download to our podcast. The Get Up podcast is available daily on the ESPN app and on Apple Podcasts. All right, this was a good discussion earlier in the program. We have finally heard from LeBron James for the first time since Magic Johnson's shocking resignation last month. Here was LeBron on his show, The Shop Uninterrupted, streaming on HBO.
My stretching session, my right hand comes to me and say, Magic just stepped down. And I'm like, man, get the out of my face, you. I go check my phone, I look at it, the happened. Personally, for me, I came here to be a part of the Lakers organization, having a conversation with Magic. So it was just weird for him to just be like, nah, I'm out of here. And not even have no like, hey, Bron, kiss my ass, I'm gone. It wasn't even that.
Very interesting. Jay Will is here and Stephen A. Smith is there. First Take starts in 15 minutes here on ESPN, but let's get a sneak peek. What was your reaction to that, Stephen A.?
Well, my reaction to that is that Magic Johnson needs to speak. We need to hear from Magic Johnson because that made him look very, very bad. The fact of the matter is on July 1st, Magic Johnson was at LeBron James' doorstep at midnight, at a minute after midnight, maybe 30 seconds after midnight. He was knocking right on that man's door, making the case for LeBron to come to L.A. Now, it's entirely plausible that LeBron James, because of his Hollywood interest, may have come to L.A. anyway. But the bottom line is Magic Johnson was the one that was at his doorstep recruiting him and trying to get him to come to Los Angeles. That wasn't Rob Pelinka. That wasn't Jeannie Buss. That wasn't any other member of the organization. It was Magic Johnson. And I find it very, very difficult to believe that Magic Johnson had ever once indicated to LeBron James that, you know what? I might only be here another year or so, obviously. And so you gave the impression, one could deduce that you gave him the impression that you're going to be here for the long haul, that if LeBron James commits to 4 years, you're here ready to see it through and to make sure that you support him in any way possible. So to just get up and leave without having talked to LeBron James, Rich Paul, Jeannie Buss, this is what Magic Johnson said, for LeBron James to go on his show, The Shop, and break it down the way that he broke it down. I'd want to hear from Magic Johnson on this particular issue, because without hearing from Magic Johnson and just taking what LeBron James put out there on display, it makes Magic Johnson look very, very bad.
S.A., I agree with you on this one, man, because we were up here in the first hour and I was pontificating about the fact that, he's the one guy that got LeBron James to go out there. But let me play a little bit of devil's advocate for you for just one second, because it almost seems like what goes around comes around. Because it was only a couple years ago when I remember LeBron James just got up and left Cleveland. He didn't give Dan Gilbert a call. Like my man, and I'm not saying it makes it right all the way around, but maybe this sometimes is how the business goes. I understand people air out their frustrations. LeBron has every right to be frustrated, but also you go back into history, he owed Dan Gilbert a call as well.
Well, I think he definitely owed Dan Gilbert a phone call. I mean, I've lamented that for many, many years. When he first left Cleveland to go to Miami, it was incredibly disrespectful what he did to Dan Gilbert. Now, Dan Gilbert doesn't excuse his egregious behavior in terms of that letter that he wrote to LeBron James. It still rakes the nerves of several folks within LeBron James' inner circle, and it damn sure rakes my nerves because it was incredibly insulting what he said to LeBron James, and some of the stuff that he said was beyond the pale. But it doesn't negate the fact that LeBron James had mishandled his exit from Cleveland, which was incredibly disrespectful. The only thing that I would say to you, Jay, is this. Dan Gilbert never played the game, particularly on an elite level, let alone at all. Magic Johnson did. Magic Johnson is a 5-time champion. Magic Johnson is an ambassador for the game of basketball. Magic Johnson, you could look at LeBron James and you could even look at Michael Jordan, and you could say legitimately that if it were not for Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, that the NBA never would have evolved to the degree that it did without their initial impetus and their initial push towards globalizing the iconic brand that is the NBA. So if you are a player of Magic Johnson's magnitude and a champion personified, you know the ins and outs of all of this. You know how a player would feel in certain instances, whereas an owner who never played wouldn't know that, which makes it that much more inexcusable, which is why I would want to hear an explanation from Magic Johnson as to why he handled things the way that he did.
I want to bring something else into the conversation too, Stephen. I want to put a picture up that was posted over the weekend, and you may not be able to see it, but I'm sure you have by now, and our audience will see it. And this is Magic Johnson and Jeannie Buss, and they each separately posted this same photo of the two of them having dinner together, big smiles, my brother, my sister. So what I mean by this, Steve, is the Lakers have taken a side, if there's a side to be taken. The Lakers officially have taken the position, spoken by the owner right there, that we don't have an issue with Magic.
But great,
so
that's a 100% PR play, though.
There's
obviously something still
but
there.
Where does it leave LeBron? If I'm LeBron, go ahead. Where does that leave LeBron, Stephen? If I'm seeing that picture and I'm LeBron.
First things first. I don't give a damn about the picture. Who cares what Magic Johnson's relationship is with Jeannie Buss at this particular point? It mattered when he was president of basketball operations, but now that he's no longer working for the Los Angeles Lakers, this is really about their friendship. Who cares if they're friends or not? It means absolutely nothing. That's number one. Number two, what this says to LeBron is, or it should say to LeBron, is this. You might be cool with Jeannie Buss, but what about me? Because I'm the one that you left in the lurch by getting up and leaving without talking to me. That doesn't say anything. Number three, who's running the Lakers organization? If I'm LeBron James, I'm asking that question because if I'm looking at the owner, which is Jeannie Buss, and everything is cool and copacetic with Magic Johnson, who just walked out the door, according to Magic Johnson and LeBron James, well, where does that leave me? Who's running it? Is it Linda Rambis? Is it Rob Pelinka? Is it you, Jeannie Buss? And whoever you bring in or whoever ends up running the organization, how do I know they're not going to walk out too? These are all issues that need to be addressed, and I don't think that it's been addressed well enough by Magic. I don't think it's been addressed well enough by Jeannie Buss. I damn sure don't believe it's been addressed by Rob Pelinka, and I think a lot of people have been under the radar, but they will not escape, especially when it comes to Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Magic Johnson might be able to walk away from it because at the end of the day, he can do what he wants to do, and we recognize that. He's no longer employed by the Lakers, but the Lakers still have a Laker Nation to answer to for what has transpired and what will transpire, and what indication have you provided to Laker fans everywhere that you know what the hell you're doing? That is the question right now, and that's what requires some answers.
I guess the point I was trying to make with the photo is that photo suggests that Magic and Jeannie, whatever issue may have existed between them, if there was something caused by his abrupt departure, has been worked through. And LeBron's comments suggest those have not.
I've been on the record. I stated it the day everything happened. There was never an issue with Jeannie Buss and Magic Johnson, other than Magic Johnson, from what I was told, wanting Rob Pelinka and Luke Walton gone. Obviously, Luke Walton is now the head coach in Sacramento. Jeannie Buss evidently did not have a problem with that. Who is the one person who remained? That is Rob Pelinka. You heard Magic Johnson talking about how people were chirping behind his back and there was some backstabbing. Who's there? Who's been accused of doing such things? And who has Jeannie Buss evidently supported? And why is that? Those are the questions. That's the issue. It's not about Walton. It's not about Jeannie Buss. It's about Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson. Somewhere along the line, somebody is going to stand up and admit it. Evidently, no one has yet.
Stephen A., outstanding. You got to go 8 minutes from now. First Take right here on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith, as always. Thank you, my man, and we will see you again tomorrow, if not sooner than that. Meanwhile, baseball is coming your way a little earlier than usual Wednesday night this week. We got the Mariners heading to the Bronx, taking on the Yankees. Game starts at 6:30 Eastern here on ESPN, and you can always watch live from anywhere on the ESPN app. We invite you to get up with us tomorrow morning here on ESPN after dominating Game 1. Jalen will be back. He'll explain why the Celtics can't stop the Greek Freak. Will the Warriors retake control of their series in Houston? And Marcus Spears on where the Cowboys should be spending their money. It's Get Up Tuesday, 8 Eastern, followed by First Take at 10 on ESPN.